Is it her fault or not? Why in the fuck? Why in the fuck? Why in the fuck is there a section of this where he's blaming a child for initiating sexual contact with him? Why? Why do we need that? Why does he say his age but not hers? Actually, it was her fault all along. Like a literal child succubus, dude. I mean, you would love this book called Shadow of the Conqueror by well-known Australian thought leader Shad M. Brooks. He fucking gotta bring this up. Hey everybody. Okay, we're just gonna hop straight into this this Chuggaconroy thing. We're continuing this from yesterday. I've heard some like interesting, and by interesting I mean like wrong takes about this, in a general sense. So as I understand, and I haven't seen anyone like counter clarify this to me, it would take a long time for me to hyper look it up, but I definitely trust the sourcing I've done. When Chuggaconroy was talking to the Lady Emily person, Lady Emily was like small. I don't know how to necessarily look all of this up to confirm it third party. I'd have to go to like I'd have to do all kinds of date processing and shit, right? So Chuggaconroy, even just on thing, he's got like 240 some odd followers, and everyone else has got, the other person's got like whatever, a sixth of it, basically, 40K. It seems like a lot of people are like just excited that they think that Chuggaconroy is somehow like exalted himself, exonerated. Jesus fuck. And somehow exonerated himself, and I don't understand how. I would actually have to have somebody have a conversation. So if you want to talk about it, as a matter of fact, great thing to bring up when we go to the Ask Tyler segment here toward the end of the program. But like here's the issues that I want to bring up real quick with him is that he was in a professional context approaching someone else in that same profession, right? I don't think that they were friends. Like, when somebody says, like, you know, we're friends, that there's a lot of, like, weight that goes into this, and generally it means, like, we're friendly, not necessarily, like, we're best friends and we share all of our time together. It's just a good rule of thumb is if you've never really met somebody, if you've only really hung out with someone online, and that hasn't even passed like a couple years, you're probably not really like friends. It's like, oh yeah, you'll say like that guy's a friend of mine. Like I'll say like Alex Gunter, friend of the channel. Alec Gunter, friend of the channel. But we're not like friends. You know, I wouldn't like, hey man, can you fucking come here right now and lend me a car? Kind of thing. Like that would be an overstep of a boundary, right? So that's a loaded word. And it takes an adult sometimes to understand the depths of the loading of that word. But also, being friendly with somebody in a professional context changes all of that completely. Additionally, like, if you, and at this time, the Lady Emily person was working as an editor for Sarah Z. Chuggaconroy was a fairly large creator. Or even just a creator in the space at all. Do you know what I mean? And he started pushing his like fetish onto her, and it's very clear to me that she was like, hey, chill, I don't really appreciate all of this sort of thing. And then him kind of just playing it off the entire time until she eventually, like a while later, had to have another person come and tell him that it was wrong. That is hyper common in abuse situations. It just really is, you know? It's not often like somebody that's assaulted tells the person, unless it's so extreme, you know, that it's like one of those type of things, that like, hey, right now, I feel like you are assaulting me or something. Usually it's not until someone else, a third party, talks with them and they actually can fucking talk it over. And they're like, this felt weird. This was strange, that the third party can go like, okay, yeah, I think that's actually pretty fucking bad. Now, in addition to that, do I think any crimes happened here? No. And if she didn't work for him, was there any sort of civil liability? No. Is he creepy for it? Yes, absolutely. It's very weird and very boundary pushing. It is one of the most non-normal things I think I've ever seen happen in an internet interaction, and that is, I'm a fucking old school 4chaner. That's really pushing shit. I would say it's in the ballpark of when she wakes up, all I'm going to do is hand her a bowl full of eggs and say, "You're not going anywhere until you eat this." And there's people online right now. I heard Xander was on Chuggaconroy's side on this, who are just like, well, he's just trying to feed her eggs. And it's like, it's weird that you also don't get it. And it's like, there is no stakes here, because what the damage is done. You could have just stopped talking about it. And I don't think bringing it back up is going to mitigate any of the damage. I do see all of the people who are like, I keep seeing on Twitter, they're like, damn, Chugga's innocent, is like, I would not, don't be in my, please, not you, anyone else, please don't be in my corner. Please don't defend me. Please, for the love of God, don't reach out a helping hand. Not you, anyone but you. You know, like you just finish your statement. You're like, and that's why I think I'm innocent. And then just Subway Jared pops his head through a fucking hole in the wall and goes, I've been saying the same thing all along. I agree. Ghost of fucking O.J. Simpson speaks up through a haunted intercom. Like, hey, I think that I think you guys got a point. The fact also that it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes I see. A lot of male accounts that are like, damn, I guess Chugga was right all along is crazy. We got to do the Me Too again. We got to do Me 3. Here it comes. It's coming. I know it's coming too. Not because it's a good thing, but just because very clearly it's probably going to be necessary here. Dan Schneider is your character witness. So let me just reiterate this, just in case anybody else pops through. I guess I had some Chugga fans who are like, please don't call him the foot guy. He's been through enough. I'm like, I think he's been through exactly what happens to you when you're a fucking foot guy in public. You got found out. You're a foot guy. It's puns until you perish. Puns until you perish. And that's that's old school internet rules. You know why? You always had. I don't know why this is a fact. This is a fact on 4chan back in the day. Like furries, I kind of sort of half brought this up. Furries, for all of their problems, a lot of times are fine. They just are. There are some aspects of the furry community that immediately have to be regulated to the trash, if you know what I mean, and I think you do, and kept there. That's okay. But like generally just being like, as a furry does not mean you'll get hit with anything usually harder than green text as a furry. Whereas foot people have to get pushed out of common discourse immediately because there is some sort of issue in that community where there's probably plenty of normal ones. No one ever meets them. Somehow foot fetishists manage to be the most over exuberant, the least cognizant of personal boundaries, and the most fucking upsetty spaghetti, furious and weird about they deserve a place in the conversation. Like literally, you're like, this is a Wendy's. I don't know why we're not allowed to talk about what we're into. And it's like, sir, we are at a Wendy's. Get your feet off the counter. They just try to sneak it in at like every angle, and it's such a weird thing that there's so many paraphilias. So many paraphilias out there. Like literally probably new ones are being made up every day. Every day. But like I don't see the muscle mommy guys, right? The dudes that are into like real strong women going around and trying to squeeze every girl's bicep. You know what I mean? It's like those guys are not constantly getting online and being like, could you just flex for us? Could you just flex for us a little bit? Like, could you just flex for us? Could you just turn around? Like, oh my God, your fucking latissimus dorsi specifically is like the hottest thing ever. Like, I'm not saying there's not perverts out there, but like with the foot people, it's so crazy that like even the OF models have to like they have to like hide their feet. I don't know what it is. And it's such a common thing that it is internet wide and well known, to the point where I will say this: if you come out and you say anything where you're like, oh, you're kind of just kink shaming, you're immediately sus and more than likely a foot guy. I'm just going to say that. Or you have a foot guy that's your immediate friend that you haven't realized it's a foot guy. If you keep waking up with wet feet, let me just tell you, motherfucker, suspicious. So I'm just saying, yeah, Chugga really shot himself in the foot over this one. So like, no matter what, if you come out as a foot person, you're gonna get racked. But you can be chill about it. Like Quentin Tarantino gets racked as a foot guy all the time. He does not give a fuck. He just keeps doing weird foot guy shit in his movies, and the movies slap. So like, that's fine. The rest of the stuff is like, with Chugga, is just like, dude, you were fucking weird, creepy, and pushy. Like you were mad sus. And the way that he described the situation was, I'm literally so baby brained from autism that I cannot fucking understand a single thing that would suggest, unless somebody screams and punches me in the face, I literally cannot understand any gradient of non-consent aside from enthusiastic screaming non-consent, like literal, almost like physical violence or assault, is basically how he boiled it down. And yet also he says, but I have done this with a lot of other people and they all seemed fine with it and never made any complaints. And it's like, well, so do you not understand that those are two fucking contradictory standpoints? Because if you're such a fucking baby brain from your highly specific to your apology brand of autism that you can't fucking understand any gradient of non-consent aside from someone screaming no in your face, like real hardcore no, go away, fuck off, no, then how do you know any of the other people were into it? You can't. You literally can't. You just articulated your too baby brain to fucking have human conversations with other people, but then you said the human conversations you've had with other people lead you only to believe you were in the right. That's just fucking psychotic. Like, I can't believe you thought you were going to get away with it. And his entire apology for the Lady Emily thing, which was not an apology, it was a Lady Emily's a fucking, she's a seductress, if you say, basically, who made things worse and upset my girlfriend. As the most upsetting thing that you did with your girlfriend was start involving a third person in your life who could dox them. It was crazy. Anyway, we're going to continue this thing with the regarding lolly, which is a crazy... I have to be pronouncing that right. But just everything about it is so crazy that my man has a section that is regarding lolly, and it just is, it's about sus, potentially halfway underage stuff. I don't know. But it sounds like lolly. I can't say it significantly different enough that I don't sound like I'm saying lolly. Oh my God. There was a chat log shared from back in 2010 when I was 19. About this, I'm not a pedophile. Even, you know, I'll just say innocent until proven guilty. I believe you. I'll just say I believe you. How do you write like the guiltiest man in the history of existence? I am not a crook. There's a chat log shared from back in 2010 when I was 19. About this, I'm not a pedophile and I'm not a groomer. I was an idiot teenager who made dirty jokes. I had no intention of doing anything to this person, quite opposite. In fact, the post is taking two separate things over a decade apart and showing them together. When I was a teenager, I said a lot of dumb things I shouldn't have. I'm 34 years old now, and I can't stand by anything I may have typed that long ago. You're my age? 2 years younger than me? What? I was 19 in 2006. So he would have been 19 in 2008. Dude, somebody scraped an actual forum? What the fuck? 2008, man? Somebody knows you specifically doesn't like you. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, holy fuck. I agree. By the way, I can kind of give almost anybody a pass for saying unfathomably stupid shit in the mid 2000s when they were 19. Because, dude, the shit I was saying was like, yes, I solemnly swear to serve my country. You know, I maybe a couple years before that, I did sign up to work directly for George Bush. See, I never did. Let's see. I don't think anyone could. What I can do now is tell you about it. To give you an idea of how long ago that chat was, when I was 19, TRG didn't exist. I never appeared at a single convention. I hadn't started college. I still lived at home. I made videos as a hobby / wasn't professional. And I was working on my first Pokemon Let's Play. Do Let's Play go back that far? I mean, fuck yeah. I wouldn't know. I was in Iraq. I don't think something that old should be treated as representative of the person I am now in any sense. It was so long ago that I learned the contents of this log existed when you did. I was extremely hurt to be judged for something from so long ago, and that the headline was worded like I assaulted someone. The internet was a very different place then, and being facetious was everywhere. It was like our escape from censorship, and the edgier the better. It was easy to get caught up in the moment and say things I didn't mean when I was that young too. You need look no further than my terrible old videos for the tasteless things I thought were hilarious at that age, or how my sense of humor has changed, or how internet culture as a whole has changed. It might be hard to imagine, but back then, people commonly threw around vulgar language and joked about horrible things on the internet like it was nothing. True, but also, we did learn in the 2000s that everything you post on the internet is forever. So, get dunked on a little bit. Get dunked on, kid that didn't know to just stay on fucking anonymous message boards. Like the year after. No, this would be the year basically that I discovered. No, year after actually, that I discovered 4chan even. Like, holy fuck. Imagine being on forums. I would be stunned. I didn't even know. Like, everybody did say stupid shit back then, but being able to be fucking tracked is crazy. I don't even have any of the email addresses I had back then anymore. That was back in like the old days with Yahoo and shit, and they would get so filled with spam that like your email address would eventually just die. Like it would get corpsed because the email programs themselves couldn't filter spam out, and it would be like I can't even look at anything. That's a wild. Somebody fucking hates Chuggaconroy. I will say that. So people were concerned about one part where I said, I'm going to rape you. And then said something about a video with a cat. This wasn't a serious conversation. It was a popular meme at the time, and I'm sure it was quoting this video. I remember all my friends quoting it on a daily basis back then. It was like the biggest thing ever. This is a video. Let's see. Okay, come on. Some guy yells at some cats.
You are a fucking piece of shit! I'm going to rape you! Fuck you!
Man, I've never seen this. Shout out GTA San Andreas 12543. Not me. That's what you get for being an internet archivist. Jesus Christ, look at this fucking 2x3 square ass video. Oh my god. I will say, dude, like the rape jokes used to be crazy. There was way too many. They were on Adult Swim. Do you guys remember Adult or fucking Robot Chicken used to have one, and it was like funny as fuck at the time, just because it was at the time. I still like it's still fucking funny to me because I'm from that era, and like I remember laughing my fucking ass off at that dumb fucking joke. But now I would never write it. I would never write that joke. You know what I mean? Even if I thought I could get a fucking laugh out of people like me, I was just like, that's it's too much. It really is. And the point of it being, the point is that it is on its face inherently supposed to be too much. It's supposed to be over the top and fucking ridiculous and monstrous. You know what I mean? And that is the point of it. but it doesn't really hold once you leave that culture. And so looking back on it, it's like, oh, fuck, that's rough. And I mean, to some degree, you can get fucking excuses for it. I would give this guy, more than likely, I would say that this excuse is probably fine. You know what I mean? But like, also just, it's a lesson. And like, if you get flack for it, it is on you. Like, it is on Chuggaconroy that it caught up with him, because you're over 19, first off, get dunked on. But also, back then, everyone was telling us, if it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Everything's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Everything's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. And you were a little 19-year-old dumb fuck, and you didn't fucking learn. It's kind of interesting. It's actually fucking funny as shit that he got busted for it. There's no criminal act or anything. It's just fucking hilarious that it came back to bite him in the ass from 19. Somebody will probably find something I did. I don't know. I wasn't almost on the internet at all from 2005 to 2009 because I was just in the fucking military. And then after that, I was in college, and I was like too fucking stupid to, well, I don't know. There's probably some fucking horrific jokes that I've told out there. But like, I really wouldn't hold it against him, like, ethically. It's funny that it got brought up and that it's a pain in the ass for him and he has to live it down, because it just kind of goes with the nature of things, you know, whatever. It's fucking funny. But like, I don't think it's like wrong. It's definitely not like an admission of a crime or anything. It's just from that era, you know, stupid shit. Let's see. As for the pedo crush line, I don't even remember saying it. It was 14 years ago. Probably a joke that was topical. Pedo bear was an enormous meme at the time, and jokes dunking on pedophilia were what internet humor was then. Lolly equal pedo was a common joke, and given her new username, an easy one. I definitely learned a long time ago that these sorts of jokes aren't cool and can be hurtful to victims. Society moved on from times years ago, as I have too. You can see the difference between then and now just by looking at anything I type. Most of the rest of the chat is just boring talk about video games we like. Even given the time, if you still feel the chat was getting out of hand, I agree with you. In fact, I agreed with that when I was 19. Lolly said she doesn't know why our chats ended abruptly. I can tell you exactly why. It's because I disliked the direction of these chats and how young she was, and I've told her this numerous times. After a few conversations, I took a step back and realized this could not continue. She would constantly initiate raunchy topics with my 19-year-old self. I was oblivious at first, though it was funny shit posting, played off their behavior as a joke, and thought of them as a friend with a dirty sense of humor like many friends I had back then. Oh god, is this a fucking AIM chat log? Is that what this is? Fine, now I'll possess you forever and talk to you and be all like, I see dead people. Wow, dude, dead people. I see. Topical Sixth Sense reference. Holy shit. And make you touch yourself in public. Insert evil laughter here. Chuggaconroy, why are the things you do to me sexual? You really do want me. Face palm. That's not really. Every time I'm like, I think, like, dude, you could have just gone over all of this shit with a lawyer. The way the ellipses being a constant part of the way that you talk is fucking fire. But like, you could have just left this out, because this seems like an incitement to say more things. Not like, that does not seem like a slow it down that you really do want me. That it just doesn't, it just doesn't strike me in almost any way as trying to cool off the situation. Kind of like the inversive of the other person talking to you. I don't, this is crazy. After a little while, things started to escalate, and they sent a sexually explicit gift to my house. It made me realize they weren't being silly. They were romantically interested in me. Well, I mean, buddy. Not the other way around. The whole thing made me and my mother uncomfortable, and after deliberation, I not only rejected them, but cut all contact with them. I actually talk about this in the log they posted, and our contact becomes a lot less frequent after that. You can see after this point, we go long periods of time without talking, and I just tell her I'm busy or need to get going. I don't look exactly thrilled about this gift. Lolly, oh, you got it? Chuggaconroy, was waiting for you. Well, sorry, my stalker senses aren't tingling. My mom told me I'm not allowed to wear the shirt, though. None of this is gaslighting again. None of this equals this. This is, oh, hey, you got it? I was waiting for you. Like, was waiting for you. Okay. Well, sorry, my stalker senses aren't tingling. My mom told me I'm not allowed to wear the shirt, though. That's not you. That you're literally your mom said. Your mom said you can't wear the shirt. Also, you're 19 and your mom is controlling your clothes is crazy. I can't relate. I was out of the house at 17 and in the military. This is, I don't know, maybe this person is an actual fucking man baby, but like, just still, man is the first part of man baby. What in the fuck? I did not speak to this person for another 10 years. I had no intention of ever reestablishing contact. 10 years later, they approached me at a convention, and that was how we became friends again. I thought after that long she was a new person and deserved a second chance. If you need more than just my word that it was joking around and I was the one who stopped it, here's proof. You should lead with that. This is me telling the story to them in 2021 and their reaction to it. The ages are slightly off due to fuzzy memory, but this is the event that caused me to cut contact. Discord, it looks like. Based on my past rejection of you, I don't think I have to justify that I wouldn't to you. Ha ha ha. You rejected me? Okay, I was going to save this story for when we were in a call, but I guess this is on topic. Please, plus like, it's been weeks. Oh God, what did I do? So that shirt you sent me, my mom found that soon after I got it and asked me why the heck I had something like that. I told her my friend sent it to me. She immediately goes, this girl has a crush on you, no doubt about it. I go, oh well, she's 14. I was 18 at the time. My mom told me I can't associate with that and that it was dangerous, so I'd better keep my distance. As much as I liked spending time with you, I chose to slowly fade out and hope you'd find someone else. That was why I fell out of your life for a few years. What? Okay, no, shut the fuck up. This story is your mom found a shirt from a girl she didn't know that you had. She like, oh, hey, this girl must really like you. Yeah, but she's 14. Okay, you can't talk to her anymore. Because you're going to go to prison because she's a freshman in high school and you've maybe graduated and are living at home with your mom, Scott Pilgrim. And then my mom told me I can't talk to you anymore because people might think I'm a pedophile, so I ghosted you. It's a smart move to do. It is a smart move to stop talking. If you would have dude, a lawyer would have had to have just been like, we're not gonna write any of this. Because, like, your explanation sounds fine, but the proof has yet to actually... That is not... Breaking things off. By the way, I need someone to tell me in explicit terms that things are over, or I don't understand that. You just ghosted people, so I guess it's just a one-way street for fucking Chuggaconroy. Yeah. My mom found out I was dating a girl who's a freshman in high school, and I was maybe graduated or at least a senior, and she's sending me gifts. And we were doing some probably fairly egregious role play and fucking aim, which I can't blame you for. Like, it just happens. All right, whatever. It's AOL Instant Messenger back in the fucking day. Grimety grime. You could have just learned your lesson from that and never brought it up again. Like, unironically. Or you could just even describe, like, I would just describe this as being like, I was just out of high school and like, it didn't make sense to me yet, really, that like, that was too young because it was the same kind of people I was at school with all the time. If you would have explained it like that, and then like once my mom told me and like, it kind of like clarified, I decided like, hey, whatever. If you had one message that said, you're too young for me, and I'm so sorry it got to this point, but I have to break this off because it's just not right. And maybe we can talk again at some point well in the future or something. By well in the future, I mean, this is literally 4 years or something. Whatever. That would have just still been better than like, yeah, there's just 2 times where it's like, my mom told me my mom found the shirt you sent me and she won't let me wear it. And then the further clarification years down the line of, yeah, after my mom found the shirt and I told her you were 14 and I was 18 or 19 or whatever. she said, "You can't see her anymore," is not I broke it off. And then you're like, and then I just let you fade out of my life over time. What the fuck? Why did you think that this was okay to put in a fucking story? Who is reading this? If you are reading this shit, I don't want you to argue with me. I don't care to hear your counter argument. If you're reading this stuff and you're like, I'm pretty sure Chugga was in the right, you need to talk to your mother. If you don't have a mother, hop into Discord. We'll find a fucking surrogate for you real quick. You need to talk to your mom. Talk to your mom and describe this entire situation. If she's not a fucking like a sociopath, she will probably tell you like, okay, no, it's a little strange. It's a little strange. It's a little weird. When I was in high school, I couldn't imagine talking to anyone kind of younger, like especially when I was getting ready to graduate, anyone younger than like a junior, because that like the sophomore junior separation was so extreme because it was like all of freshmen look like little babies and they all fucking stink because they all just fucking hit puberty, and like the whole freshman side of the school will always fucking like reek. You know what I mean? And I just remember that from high school, and even like going back once or twice after I graduated to like, I had to pick my sister up and shit because she was younger. I was like, this is gross, disgusting place. So like, I couldn't even imagine talking to like a kid. You know what I mean? It's like a girl that was like, if I was when I was 19, my little sister would have been 12. So like just 2 years older than my little sister. Blah. You know what I mean? That's like if that's in school and stuff, that's that young is crazy, you know? Those distances obviously like they decrease over time. My wife is like literally 3 years younger than me. But we started dating when I was in my late 20s, so wasn't really a big deal. You know what I mean? And like in some cases, I don't really think that those like short, like 3 to 4 year gap, teenagers, I feel like are generally kind of teenagers, but still it is time for you to learn your lesson and move on. Right. It just doesn't even in the way he's describing it outside of just, he's talking about it now that he is like having it thrust into his face. Wait, he's apologizing to us, but then he's showing evidence that's supposed to support his how not bad and how I don't have to apologize that much. But all of the evidence he's showing us is before you were confronted with it, you definitely did not see anything wrong with it. Your mom did. Like your mom was the moral arbiter here. I don't even really think like if you didn't like hook up with a child, you know what I mean? And once you got kind of like hip to it and faded away, I think it's fine. If no harm came, more than likely it's okay. I think it's just a thing that comes of getting older, especially I think for a lot of kids that just graduated high school, the difference between the day after and the day before doesn't feel like much, you know? So like if you're a junior, you know, if you're a guy that just graduated high school and you're looking at like junior girls who are like they're 16, you're like 19. Obviously, it's in the fucking definitely in the gray zone, and as you go into your 20s, it should definitely be like, oh, there's the fucking hard line is actually there. But you know, the day before and the day after are not going to be very big for you, and so you probably will still be just kind of like into like the high school era of your this is the kind of girl that I'm attracted to, you know, or like my peers, and you'll still think of high schoolers as in your peer group. I don't know about freshmen or God, 8th graders. Disgusting. That's hard cut off, like freakish. And I can understand having to be like someone like, dude, you can't, bro. No, don't. If you get into like, if you hit like 22, it's full crime. That's definitely black. That's definitely past the gray, and you don't need to fucking chop it up. But what I'm just trying to say is I have some understanding in my heart for, you know, some dipshit 19-year-old kid who probably himself is not like fully brain developed, going like, well, you know, I still just identify with like slightly younger people who are technically like underage, but like, you know, the day after you become of age doesn't really like something snaps in your brain. You're like, hey, I have legal responsibility to always not be cringe. You know what I mean? And like, it's fine. If the story was my mom told me, if you articulated it as, I thought it was okay, or I didn't even really consider that it wasn't okay because I still saw myself as being in this child's peer group when I was really moving out of it. And my mom told me, and I felt conflicted about it even because I really like this person, but I knew it was for the best that I had to move on. And like, I told her I had to break it off for that reason. I feel like that would be a much better way to articulate it. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? Gluten Alchemist, $7. Thank you, by the way. Canadian. Tyler's a video I shared of someone reading all of this and saying Chugga didn't do anything wrong and she was clout chasing. Yeah, I mean, like, do anything wrong. Most of it, if you would have left it in the dust, a lot of it is not doing anything like literally wrong, right? A lot of this falls into like the unethical area, right? You know what I mean? And I bring a cop on somebody, you know, I think you could talk to most police officers who are like, hey, if we reported a kid, he's like fucking 19 years old, he's talking to like a 14-year-old, do you think he should go to jail? And the cop would probably be like, well, did they share explicit images with each other? Or did he try to get her to travel to his residence in order to like be physically intimate with her? Like, no, they just shared some like lightly graphic, gross role play and stuff, but he's never met her in person. And the second we discovered this, we told you, and he's very confused and doesn't really understand necessarily, I think, what he did wrong. He's terrified. The cop would probably, in most senses, be like, all right, we have to sit the kid down and you have to talk to him and you have to tell him that this is wrong. And it's unfortunate that more than likely the conversation that should have been there didn't happen before. But like now, there's no reason to put this kid in the fucking stockade and ruin his life over it. Tell him, break it off permanently. If he talks to her again, that's a whole different story. You know, if they try to re-engage. But if they really like each other, like they think that maybe they do, they're children, more than likely they don't. In 4 or 5 years, when she's an adult too, and like making her own sane decisions, she can seek him out. She'll be an adult. He'll be an adult. They can figure it out then. I feel like that is going to be more than likely the measured response that most people will give. So like, I can't like say like he intentionally was like grooming a girl for like, you know, maniacally or something. I think he's just a fucking idiot and fucked up real bad. His apology on top of it, that's trying to like exculpate him from any responsibility in this, is definitely the thing I have an issue with, because that shows more dangerous behavior to me than anything else. If you really think that if you really think that being 19 and then like, you know, this comes up when you're 34, almost a decade and a half later, things have changed a lot, then you can just kind of leave it at that. You can just say, I was 19, I fucked up. Like, it's my bad. We broke it off. Here's the story. Yeah. Like, and I would just say any other 19-year-old kids, any other boys that are getting out of high school, you might not feel like you're so distant from the kids that you saw every day just a year ago in these classrooms and stuff, but really you're part of a different class of people now, and you have to act way different. And it might not make sense immediately to you, and it might be uncomfortable to have to interact with adults instead of children, but you have to do it, and you can actually cause some harm if you don't. That's an apology, by the way. That's an understanding the issue and describing it. Offloading any of this onto a girl who's a literal child and then as an adult brought up the time she as a literal fucking child was engaging in sexual role play with a literal legal adult is kind of crazy. Especially when you're trying to say like, I responsibly broke it off, and I can see right here that your mom just said, stop talking to the kid. Like, what? You have to fuck it. I would have to hear like hard debates on this. Once my mom said that, I sort of analyzed a lot of things you said and done. It made a lot more sense after that. Yeah, like, he still put it over on her. I knew, at least, I was pretty sure of it. Once my mom said that, I sort of, do you think I was a cop or something? Haha. I mean, I was pretty sure you were you, but I didn't want to abuse you or hurt you with an unfair relationship. Well, that's good. That's responsible. So regardless, it was hard. It was a hard no for me at the time. It was not a hard no. You said that at the top. That was not a hard no. Do you not understand? This is the other thing. Every time Chugga explains one thing, if you don't look at the way that they connect to the other things, the excuses don't track. Because now he's saying, like, I gave you a hard no, but he ghosted them. So when the other girl ghosted him and then brought back the issues later, does he not understand that that was a hard no? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that not affect the Lady Emily thing? Oh, it's a completely different situation. I mean, it's literally a different situation, but it's also literally the same person and literally his own description of the mentality behind his actions. Like, I'm just doing fucking arithmetic based on the numbers he is giving me. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to abuse you. Haha, honestly, as an adult, I can appreciate that you set a boundary. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad. I was worried you wouldn't like me anymore back then because I was intentionally snubbing you at least some of the time. It was something of a relief when you were happy to see me at Con Bravo. I just figured you were busy with life and moved on. Haha. I kind of had that as a passive excuse. I was hitting the big time around then. I've always enjoyed spending time with you, but at those ages, I wasn't going to let something develop on either side. I wanted you to go find other people. You were still a kid and wouldn't have that time again. You should have probably just told her that at the time. Another side of this is that I confided in them as a teen about the girl I liked at the time. It's not them. Chugga. There's this girl who I think might like me, and I told her something like that last night. I swear to God, she got so risen up from her depression. Haha. Lolly. Is she someone you know personally or just another fan? She started off as a fan. She's hopefully going to this thing in June that I'm going to be at for a few weeks. Pretty much all my friends are begging me to go for her in that time. Haha. You has an online love, eh? I really don't know if she likes me or not, but I sort of suspect she might. Most likely, yes. I mean, you're awesome. Another deeply suspicious evidentiary chain. I was talking about someone completely different. So I have someone online that I love, and I hope I get to see her in person sometime. I told her I liked her last night. I guess maybe if you just told me who else it was and like described this other third person, I would have a little bit more faith in you. Was there wrong? Humor not acceptable by today's standards? Sure, but this was half of my life ago. I lack the experience I have now, and I think this shows I had no romantic or physical interest in them as a teen. Even back then, once I knew it wasn't a game to them, I rejected it and backed off. Well, you didn't really reject it. I'm just going to say that. You never rejected them. By your own terms. By the terms that Chuggaconroy has stated above here. Explicit no's are how you say. She said, I didn't know you didn't like me anymore because you ghosted me, right? But like with Lady Emily, he's like, oh, well, I thought she was into it because she never explicitly said no, but he never explicitly said no. So what does he or doesn't he? Which kind of, how strong is the autism here versus the other part where it's like sometimes it's excusable, sometimes it's not. It's all very suspicious and none of it fucking tracks. You know what I'm saying? This was my learning experience about why even jokes like this aren't a good idea, and I've never said anything like this to a minor in the 14 years since. The age she was at the time. I specifically remember telling my mom that leaving that friendship was the most caring thing to do for this person. Speaking as someone who suffered a lot as a child, I have many ground rules involving minors and have taken these sorts of things immensely seriously ever since. I read through all of it, and to my surprise, she's the one who initiates the role play. She's the one who pretends to tickle my feet. And goes much further than that, too. She was the origin of it, at least in this chat. Well, you know, those fucking 14-year-olds, man. Those horny 14-year-old fucking, those fucking jailbait Lolitas will get you every time, Chugga. You know, you're just an innocent guy walking around and some, like, literal child said, let me sexually tickle your feet. One of the most common things that happens to all of us red-blooded American men, unless you're Canadian, you're just trying to mind your own business, and them 14-year-olds just sneak out of nowhere and start tickling your feet. What in the fuck am I reading? Is it her fault or not? Why in the fuck? Why in the fuck? Why in the fuck is there a section of this where he's blaming a child for initiating sexual contact with him? Why? Why do we need that? Why does he say his age but not hers? Actually, it was her fault all along. Like a literal child succubus, dude. I mean, you would love this book called Shadow of the Conqueror by well-known fucking Australian thought leader Shad M. Brooks. He'd fucking oh, we don't see this. I get evidence from everything else, but right here we don't have a part that is included of the like. How does she You know, she might have even said like, "I'm gonna tickle your feet" because she's like a literal child, and children are inherently basically non-sexual. I mean, she's 14, so she's probably just even discovering like the first surges of like puberty horniness or whatever that fucking kids have to go through. But there's also every possibility that she just still remembers 4 years ago when she was 10, and it would be like, "I'm gonna get your feet," ooh, and it's like, "Don't get my feet," which is not sexual, by the way, for almost everybody except for someone else. So just the potentially innocent thing of saying like, "I'm gonna tickle your feet," like I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Which I still wouldn't say because you foot people have fucking ruined the world. My boy Chugga was like, "Man, this 14-year-old wants to fucking smash." He's like, "Yo, fuck, this 14-year-old is coming to get me, boy." Whew. At the time, the 14-year-old started initiating sexual contact. I didn't realize then. If I see/hear the haha one more time, I feel like I might crawl out of my skin. It is that good old haha. You know, I'm just kidding. Unless you're gonna do it. What in the fuck? Dude, I want legal here. Should you, if you're ever accused of being a pedophile on the internet, should you ever write a whole thing out, include half of the evidence, and then put it out for people to read? Well, the answer might surprise you. Well, legals. I can't do a good legal impression at all. But I can imagine what his face looks like if he's reading this. Ace Attorney over here just having just playing at fucking full max difficulty, just like fucking, who's the guy, Edgeworth, just over there. Waka! 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 God damn. Oh, the next point is something I was unsure about publishing for months. I hate that this is relevant, and I would not be sharing this if they didn't post anonymously. I cut contact with them thinking they had just had an innocent crush that needed to stop. It was a lot worse than that. I was disturbed to find they admitted that in those old chats, their goal was to manipulate me into having sex with them. Here are 2 separate times they told me this story, as well as the time we briefly touched on it. Well, you know. Let me just tell you right now. More than I'm a good-looking guy. All right, I'm like attractive. People write me about that. This is not a flex. It's just an aspect of my existence. I've actually had a real stalker for a little bit, and I had to get rid of her because she was hallucinating me in places. She might be here right now. You never know. It sucks being haunted by a stalker. But I will tell you this. I wouldn't be offended if I found out there was some like little kid that had a little kid crush on me. You know what I mean? If I had like a poster of me up on the wall. Whatever, you know, like, "Oh, I love you," like, okay, adorable, but no. But if a child tried to initiate sex with me, it would be the easiest fucking thing in the world to say, "Get the fuck out of here." You know what we need to talk to your parents, young lady. Where's your fucking mom? the possibility of being manipulated into sex with a minor is you can't do it. It would literally be like, if you don't do this, the worst crime possibly ever, I'm gonna shoot you. I'd be like, pull the trigger, bro, because I would have shot me too. Like, are you out of your fucking dumb? Why would you say that? Now looking back on it, it seems that she was trying to get me. You know who else did the same thing? Fucking Humbert in fucking Nabakov, in fucking Lolita. He was also, I think Lolita, what's her name? Lo, is also fucking like mildly interested in like being coquettish and stuff. But he takes it as like she has a serious sexual fixation on him that's equivalent to his own. And that is crazy. It is crazy that like the world has to go so far around the sun for so many different things to happen so many times. And to actually see fucking Nabokov happen IRL, I'm just reading. You know why? You know what it is? Why people like Xander Hall are fucked up on this shit? They never read fucking Nabokov. There was no fucking way Xander Hall's ever read Lolita. There's no way. Because anybody that's read Lolita, holy shit, I've never had it. Literally, my man is talking to a girl named fucking Loli. If I wrote this, people would be pissed at me. They would be furious with me if I wrote this as a fictional story, because they'd be like, why do you think you can just rip off Nabokov in broad daylight? Like, to have the Russian people not have enough stolen from them? And yet here we are, seeing one of the most wild fucking things I've ever seen in my fucking life. At any point, he could have stopped and things wouldn't have gotten worse, but somehow each little bit I read is more fucking suspicious than the last. And now I look back, so strange to find it seemed she was the one who was into me all along. Her daring tickles. I think fucking, oh my God, no, in Nabokov, Lolita jumps on Humbert. And her moving on his lap like stirs it. And she tickles him. I swear to God, I fucking feel like I remember that. Do I have it within range? There's no way I can look through the entire thing. I double checked real quick. I think that fucking happens. Am I high? Am I dead? Did I perish? This can't be real. I can't be living in this timeline. This is insanity. I am beyond myself. I thought I would get more shit done today, but I'm stunned. I'm agape. I'm aghast. The more I think about it, like, I don't know if I'm convincing myself. So like, I leave it to you. But like, holy fuck. How can this be fucking possible? The title is going to be fucking Lolita 2, Electric Boogaloo, the Chuggaconroy story. What in the fuck? Why would he write this? I have to be reading it incorrectly. Like, I need other people. I stand by my reading, but I'm going to need other people to I'm showing my work as I talk. I am going to need other people to hopefully like respond or read this. Give it some piece of shit. Give it to fucking President Sunday. I guarantee you, he will hate me the second I open my mouth. And I know he's read Nabokov. Give it to Sunday and see if he sees what I see in this. Because I'm fucking baffled. I'm gobsmacked that somebody had the balls to write this. That is insanity. Yeah, I don't think anyone that defends this is okay. Autism be damned. I mean, I can understand that people don't get it, because the manipulation tactics that are kind of on display here are designed to obfuscate for certain types of people what is kind of going on. Like I'm seeing what's going on. That's where I told you, like, there's a sense of maliciousness in the way that he provides arguments and premises and then says, like, I have evidence that supports these, and then he provides the evidence, and the evidence is anything but literally what he just said. It's very much It's like hearing a religious person who starts talking about. You guys remember we watched the Austin McConnell video, and he starts going like, "I need to understand that you need to do this and this and that. Ecclesiastes this, blah blah blah," and he starts rambling off like the quotations as though they like justify what he's saying. But you would have to go and double check the like interpretations and the quotes and stuff. He's actually putting these quotes in live, and I get to double check the actual factual evidence here right now as I'm reading it, and it just does not support the conclusions that he's making. It just like he literally did not tell this woman no, or this child at the time, now woman, no. He just didn't, but he says he did. And he says he explicitly broke it off, but it's very clearly like, yeah, my mom says I can't fucking talk to you anymore, which is also crazy because you're an illegal adult. You know what I mean? Like you're a man that makes their own decisions. If I, even I was told like as a child that when you say the like, my mom says I can't come over, that's like I would otherwise. I don't think I'm insane in saying that off-putting the blame of the decision on the person that helped you make it or forced you to make it insinuates that you would not have necessarily made the same decision on your own. And it's not until we're 10 years down the road that he wouldn't have, after he's famous enough and old enough to probably understand that like you cannot articulate yourself like that in public at all. So there's nothing really changes about the original. So it just strikes me as, and even she has the impression that you wanted to continue things, but you just ghosted her and just moved on with your life. Like there was no like, I'm not interested in you, just I'm not interested anymore. Like I just wandered away. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't infer a lack of thirst. It just infers a lack of interest in the current quench, so to say. Like, bro, what the fuck? Oh, no clue. Somebody told me younger was better, so I thought you'd like me more if I told you my age. Yeah, I would have not have gone for a 14-year-old when I was 18, so I can't say I agree with him there. 4 years isn't so bad this far in, but at 14, you're still finding out, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, when I was underage, I wanted to fuck an older guy so badly, LMAFAO. It just so happened that all the predators around me were inept as fuck. Okay, this chick is weird, though. And I just trolled them for being thirsty, LMAO. This statement implies, though... the statement implies, though, and it is common, like, children get horny because they're children and they just been exposed to puberty for the first time. I'm sorry, it sucks, but there's biological processes that your body does with or without you, which is why sexual education for children is very important, so that they know what is going on with them. So, when I was a child too, when I was like 13 years old, I thought Selma Hayek, fuck off. 13, 14-year-old me was like, Selma Hayek is the hottest fucking thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And like, that was like my little childish sexual dream was Selma Hayek. Still kind of fucking is, dude. I saw her in a commercial yesterday and I'm like, apply. I told my wife, she fucking heard, she's like, Selma Hayek. Hell yeah. But like, if I would have approached Selma Hayek as a 13-year-old and been like, I like it, she'd probably been like, oh no, that's very cute, but you're too young. Obviously, you're too young. That kind of thing. And like maybe even just like, where's your parents? Because an actual adult is just like, okay, stop. Because also, like a 13-year-old doesn't have guile. They're not clever trickstery beasts. You know what I mean? They're not suspicious internet fucking feet perverts that actually do have the ability to gaslight somebody into maybe doing something they don't want to do with their children. You fucking hit one hard enough, it'll die. Like they're like little fucking beasties. You know what I mean? They're animals. They smell like shit. They look stupid. They're little half-formed people that are still only partially inflated. Like they're not to be taken seriously. And this fucking animal, this is very incriminating on her part. She was a horny child, and I was just an innocent man, unaware of her intentions. What the fuck? Why would you share this? What are you inferring? Why are you slut shaming a child? Actually, is that why are we slut shaming a child? What does this prove? I'm a man. I'm a grown man. If I went over to like one of my neighbor's houses, right, and he's like, yeah, I coach like volleyball, and one or two times, one of those girls, they've gotten a little schoolgirl crush on me, and I've had to break their hearts, just like, hey, I'm trying. It would not be a thing where I'm like, oh my God, you're suspicious. Tell me more about how she was like duplicitous and almost tricked you. Like that would be the suspicion. That happens. Like I've talked to other guys. You don't want to like bring it up because a lot of times you don't want to embarrass the kid. You know what I mean? Whatever. But it just happens. It happens with school teachers and stuff. Some kid will be like, well, Mrs. Jennifer, I just think that you're the most beautiful woman on earth. And he's like, shut the fuck up. No, I'm not. Get out of here. You're crazy. Don't come on, go to the next bell. And also I'm going to send the counselor by to talk to you. Like that's how all adults. And if she tells like, I've had one of those little motherfuckers come up to me and try to talk to about how I look like an angel. And I'll tell you what, 2 years from now, he's going to be embarrassed. And 13, 14 years from now, he's going to think it's funny as shit. I want to fuck a young man, save my life. Like that's the thing. You just start like, oh, really? Yeah. Like, oh, God, they're fucking goofy. Anyone that tells it like, oh, they almost got me. Well, I was unaware, and one of those little harlots almost snatched my cock right out of my pants. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? What in the shit? It's on the adult to be responsible. Which is fine. Like if you would have told me like, yeah, you could have told me like, yeah, there was a girl that was really, really interested in me. I just broke it off. It's fine. But like you did have a bunch of conversations and she told you her age and I think you knew for a while because by the time your mom got the shirt, when your mom found the shirt, you could tell her. It wasn't like, oh, she delivered the shirt to you. And you talked all the time, you just never. Because by the way, if you don't know this is the part that's being left out, and that's what I want to see. Everybody that's near my age, everybody that was born from fucking 85 to 95, let me see. Let me see some fucking something. Let me see supers in chats. Let me see Gorpos. Let me see Gorpos in chat. If you've ever heard this term for every fucking conversation for people using message boards, talking to individuals back in the day. ASL. Every time. Yo, ASL. That means age, sex, location. Right? To the point where it was a big joke. Everyone would do it. You would sometimes make shit up. But there was a 99% chance, like when you first said, like people would lie to you or whatever, but there was a 99% chance that would be asked at least once, if not twice. And then you would say, like later on, maybe like, but like seriously, what is your like actual ASL? Because I'm like interested in you as a person, kind of deal. And I remember being on the internet and people being like fucking, saying like they were 3 years old or whatever the fuck, like 5 little children while I'm in high school. I'm like, ew, gross, you're fucking lame. Get off the internet, dork. You know what I mean? That stupid shit. Like fucking AIM was monstrous. AIM was nightmare time. But the thing is everyone will forgive you for nightmarish, like, high school AIM messages because it's children. Like, I don't give a fuck. If you guys fucking dug up AIM messages and I said the most heinous, insane shit ever, it's not like me. It's like a fucking 15-year-old dipshit me. I would be like, yeah, whatever, man. The fucking kids are stupid. Yeah, I was a kid. I was stupid. Who gives a fuck? Like, we're pet. But, like, couching that later on as an adult and trying to like, oh, actually, like the fucking children I was talking to at the time were like really fucking like good at seducing and they had intentions on me, which are so clear that you were returning them in the other text because I just know how this fucking, I know I'm from that era, so I know how what you're texting is supposed to be taken. And it's crazy that he's fucking duping the children that fucking grew up on his content with that shit, because they're from fucking Minecraft era where you guys didn't do that shit anymore. The way that we talked moved on. A lot of that stuff, the ASL and the excessive amount of acronyms and shit, is because everybody was like bad at typing because no one had really practiced it yet. The fucking messenger window was this big and didn't get much bigger. And then everyone else was always texting and stuff, and texting got on there too. And back in the day, you didn't have a keyboard to text. You had the number pad, and you had to type in each fucking letter the amount of times. So if you wanted to go to like C, you had to type 111 to get to C. You know what I'm saying? So like you had all these things. I know what the fuck I'm looking at. I would need hard evidence, actually, to go into another direction at this point, because my man is self-incriminating. He is telling me these things. By the way, thank you for the 5 pounds sterling, Kusabake. Blake, 35-year-old here. Sorry, no Gorpo yet. Oh my God. I'm from 1 year past that age group, and I never heard of ASL. Well, your parents probably kept you off of AOL. Sub AOL chat, ASL, URP. Exactly. Oh my God. 8 male, your mom? Yes. 18F Cali. Man, God, that brings me back. If you guys are confused, just look at the chat when people are like typing the number, that is like the age, the sex, the location, and shit. It was because like a lot of people were using AIM for all sorts of stuff, and people would get on there and troll. Someone who I won't mention used to fucking like RP troll people online as a young lady, and she thought it was funny as fuck to do and brags about it. But like, you know, that's past. And that's what AIM was. AIM was just finding randos, true randos. Sometimes you would just like type in a username and raw send messages to it, which you could do. You didn't have like friends requests. I mean, you had constant people like in your address books. You always knew how to find them, but you could just accidentally type in, you know, if it was like Steelers fan 9, you could type in Steelers fan 19 and end up talking to a completely different person. Just boop, off rip. You could just send them a message, and then people would talk like that. Early internet was psychotic, and shit like this was hyper common. And I would forgive it absolutely if it wasn't for this weird attempt of him that he's making to try to frame this child, this retroactive child, as some sort of horny seductress who almost got him and like preemptively ruined his career in the future. It is insanity. It's insanity. American Sign Language. It's A/S/L, by the way. And some people would do, that was a joke, ASL, and then people would like type in little fucking ASCIIs and stuff. Like they were fucking doing it. You guys don't remember fucking ASCII or ASCII? You used to be unable to send like JPEGs and shit. Thank God, because it would have been fucking nothing but dicks, whether or not the person sending it had one. But you would basically make binary drawings out of fucking like X's and O's or whatever the fuck, so that you could draw stuff out in ASCII. And people would actually like type in like the fucking, you know, ASL for ASL, whatever the fuck it is, or like fuck you and all kinds of shit. Old memes, you see fucking pedo bear showing up, fucking party van, rafflecopter, all that shit's from that era. Man, here I thought you had a harmless childhood crush on me. Didn't know you wanted to fuck me ASAP. Ha 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 ha. I am violently sexual. This is just such a strange chat. But absolutely, I would not have let you do that regardless of how well we got along. This ha 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 is so strange. That is so, these DMs should have stayed in the DMs on everybody's part, because this is just so weird. Oh, yeah, and I am as well. I guess it just seemed like an unrelated statement. I also remember you were like really put off by my age, but I was like, I don't see the problem because blank always talked about younger girls being better, so I was like, legitimately. You told me that story, it's kind of messed up. It's honestly a miracle no one took advantage of me as a kid. I'll say it is. You're very fortunate in that way. Like, I wanted an older dude really badly when I was a kid, too. Like, I literally had a goal to have underage sex and was depressed when I turned 16. Ha 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 ha. Dude, this is... Everybody in this fucking page is so 30 years old. Man, I'm so happy you never got hurt back then. So happy. RNG, right? Does it? Does she mean fucking random number generator, RNG? Is that a meme in his community or something? You are the luckiest person alive. I don't know why you are saying shit like that. Everything about him is so suspicious. He's such a suspicious guy. I feel like just on suspiciousness alone. I think the whole picture here changes everything about their side of those logs. Their framing of events to make what somebody that was like, she's like, yeah, I was really outwardly, obviously super horny and would like thirst troll people. So like, why was she talking to you? Regardless of some jokes on the screen, this is the real tragedy I prevented from happening. I refused to be their friend for so much less than their actual motive. It wasn't just me either. They said they targeted multiple other adults for sex. That child was targeting adults. That child was targeting adults, officer. Put her in jail. Oh. You notice when he talks about targeting adults for sex, he never mentions that they're a fucking child and therefore like literally completely... just the one 14-year-old girl who's going out there and somehow overpowering grown men and forcing them to have sex, which disgusting to even say out loud, and save your fucking slash fictions for the prison or the prison walls that you should be writing on. But like, holy fuck, what a statement. I know I see somebody saying like, oh, they wish I wasn't covering this kind of stuff. I mean, I didn't know it was going to get this fucking stupid. But unironically, like, I've heard people have had really, really forgiving takes to this dude. And I'm just describing what he's saying and interpreting it relative to his other comments and shit that he said. Like, and I'm coming up with, I think, a far different conclusion. And this is wild. Like, just seeing, like, a girl, and it also just implies that a lot of, it doesn't even imply. I just know for a fact that a lot of men, and especially younger men, who don't have a lot of women in their lives or have never had like a confidant woman, to have as a confidant, or and especially in my cases, I wrote about sexual assault extensively. I did a massive like 3-piece series on human trafficking when I was in North Dakota, and so I talked to women that ran women's shelters. I've talked to trafficked women about things that they went through, and there's a lot of times where they're like, yeah, there's probably one or two things I could have done different. But like the mistakes that those women make don't justify the rapes that happen, in my opinion. And like in this case, like the conduct of a child, of a literal 14-year-old, I don't think so. It would have to be the most egregious thing ever. She would have to like literally actually maybe like get a Dexter syringe and drug somebody and then like fucking strap them to chairs and pump them full of drugs and shit, which is somebody's freak show fucking fantasy probably. But like, it would have to be the most insanely convoluted thing for it to be justified, to the point where do you not know that it's not right to bring this up? Do you not know that it's not okay to discuss the motivations of children in this way? It's psychotic. I really can't. I'm just gonna keep going. As for the modern stuff they showed, that was after more than a decade of no contact. I had only vague recollections of what our conversations were like back then, and years into this new friendship, I was asking, as adults, they wanted to text roleplay but spicy. I had only vague recollections of what our conversations were like back then. And years into this new friendship, I was asking if, as adults, they wanted to text roleplay but spicy. I was forward about that so they wouldn't think I just wanted silly stuff like I remembered us doing. For the record, I was single and they were fine with me asking. I wasn't in a good headspace when I asked them for roleplay stuff. Not my fault. It was the worst year of my life. Poor Bebby. Small bean. I think I just wanted to feel close to someone I cared about in that loneliness. She told me she liked/missed roleplay, so I thought it natural to ask. Plus, by that point, we'd been friends again for years. It was 12 years since I cut contact. I didn't even remember most of our old talks, and we'd put our awkward past behind us, so any bad implications weren't exactly there for me. Save for the one time they ran into me as an adult, I have only ever known this person online. Nothing else ever happened. This was the first time I'd asked them for anything since learning what I liked. More on that in a second. If Lolly is reading this, I'm sorry I made you hurt. I don't think what I've said changes that. I mean it. Well, like 2 paragraphs ago, you accused her of being a fucking child seductress. So that's a crazy thing. How sorry are you? Though, I guess I'm surprised at this. We were friends up until this, got along better as adults, and I was glad to have you in my life without that inappropriate crush. It was basic knowledge to both of us that you were the one who wanted me, and I shut it down. This is not established by any of the evidentiary claims. It's just not. I even apologized last year for asking for roleplay stuff, and you said you forgave me and considered me a true friend. I don't really know what you were thinking. I didn't even remember these chats, so I was genuinely confused by what you'd even been speaking about when I heard it was you. It hurt a lot to see you say that you don't know if I ever considered you a real friend. I told you that you were awesome and funny and smart. A lot. We got each other through difficult times. You were a bright, smart spot in my darkest time, and I admired you for it. I spent your birthday with you. Here's the thing. I'm going to pause right here. This is another deeply sus thing you probably shouldn't have admitted. In the Lady Emily section, he has talked, and I keep bringing this up because it's a very important sticking point. If I'm wrong about it, please let me know. He has said that he frequently involved his friends in his fetish, and they were cool with it because they never said they weren't. Right? He said he did foot jokes and all sorts of stuff, and they were cool with it. Blah, 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 blah. So he has constantly, by his own evidentiary claims, involved people who he thought of as friends in his sexual play. Even if he doesn't think it's that, it is that. There is every possibility this girl thinks of him as a guy who only thought of her as a sexual roleplay partner. Especially if, like, you reconnect after all those years and you kind of just go into fucking roleplay again. You know what I mean? If you just bring things, you just pick back up where you left off when she was 14. That's crazy. I don't know. Like you need a whole lot more statements going on here. But like, this is all deeply weird. This is deeply weird and very bizarre shit. You know what I'm saying? You mattered to me so much, and we just had a nice conversation about how much we care about each other right before this too. I want you to know that I cried when I wrote this because it was the only moment where it really hit me that I will never speak to you again. The hardest part of all of this was going through our chats to find proof of my intentions. In doing so, I opened a time capsule of a beautiful friendship that doesn't exist anymore and saw all the very real ways we helped each other. I wish you talked to me about it. I would have listened. I saw you as a friend for life. Well, I saw some of those chats, and it was a 14-year-old girl telling you that she wanted to possess you and touch your dick in public. So, if I scroll down a little bit somewhere, is there going to be a point where I see text messages between you guys and chat logs between you guys where it was not romantic in nature, because it was gift exchanges, it was talking about thinking about people, there was an exchange about a girl you were thinking of dating, there's someone I like online, oh, I don't know if she likes me back, which is just, I don't know, I'm older than fucking 10 years old, so in my mind, when I see somebody writing someone, if I'm married, okay. You know what I mean? And if I told my wife, like, there's someone I like, and I don't know if they like me back, there's no way she wouldn't think it was me. Like, or her that I was talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like, okay, even when we were dating, she would have been like, it's me, right? Because you're having that romantic conversation or something. It's like, these are all things that people go through in life. I feel like I've had this experience before, a bunch of different times. Girls have said that to me. There's kind of a guy I like, and I don't know if I should kind of blah, blah, blah. Because, stupid, childish, little afraid of, like, going to the next step type thing. And you're like, oh, no, like, it's not, is it me? And like, yeah, it kind of is. And like, blah, 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 blah. And you get, goofy, you get into it. That's what that sounds like. Every fucking conversation between you two was romantic sexual, romantic or sexual in nature, and then finally, like, basically, like, I literally have to break it off because my mom said so. Or, like, my mom said I couldn't wear the shirt you got me. Like, I graduated high school. Like, none of this is secret code to me. You're not sneaking anything past me. This is so suspicious. If I was this girl's father, I would be on my way to beat you up with a baseball bat as an adult. Like, I would be trying to find you. I would be trying to find you 20 years down the line. If someone was talking to my little sister like that, and I found out that they were an adult, I'd never even thought about this. And almost any of this shit you were sending to my 14-year-old sister and you were 19 would have been you would have been woken up with me tapping a fucking aluminum bat on your window. And that wouldn't have been the end of the night for you. That wouldn't have been the end of the fucking month, maybe the year for you. Like, you fucking, the I'm trying to fuck is written all over this. You know what I mean? And you got to get fucking scared away. Like, but trying to describe, this is crazy to me. A beautiful friendship. I mean, she didn't see it as that. I don't know why you're articulating, like, I don't know why you're trying to pull out, we were just friends out of here. You got to share something of like, hey, these are some go-betweens or something. I mean, I'm not the lawyer. I'm not going to help you rewrite this. Please don't get angry at the person who posted those chat logs. They were looking out for my friend / former friend, and it's possible they didn't have this context either. They were being a good friend. I'd have still posted them. I would have fucking lit you up over this. Unironically. Like, I would have fucked your shit up over this. I mean, I guess I am kind of over in my own little way, but like, yeah. If I found like abuser messages and the person was like, if I found those kind of messages between a child, she was a child, 14-year-old child, and you as an adult, a legal adult, 19, I guess, 18 when you're remembering it with her, 19 when we actually get back into the ages, I guess. I would share that. And especially because, like, oh, you're a guy that does content with children? And if she brought it up, like, the time you talked to her, you kind of like try to get back into a sexual role play conversation. You haven't seen her in years and now you're trying to fuck again. Like, anybody that's been in and around like abuse recovery and stuff will recognize this stuff. It's all written right on its face. This isn't new. This isn't new hat. These aren't things that have never happened before. And it's crazy. I didn't know it was going to get this deep. I did not know. I am so sorry, everybody. I don't think I need to read any more of this. I'm going to speed read. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And I think I don't think I need to see. I don't think there's going to be a point where there can't be. There almost literally can't be a point where I go, oh, okay. Because I've just had the situations described. This is all excuse stuff. Severe with psychotic symptoms, major depressive disorder, suicidal, hyperlipidemia, unspecified other long-term current drug therapy. If you're reading this Destiny, goddamn, DGG is fucking everywhere. Okay, so I don't really need any of this anyway. Okay, he had a bad day and he had some struggles after all this came out, of course, as one would. This would never fly on Super Earth. This absolutely would not. You don't deserve to wear the cape, Helldiver. Wow, that was the most sorry, honey. That ain't it. Shit, I think I may have ever seen in my fucking life. I don't feel like I really read that. Like a part of me feels like that was an out-of-body experience. I should have probably had the content warning up for that one. I thought it was going to be stupid and nowhere near as bad as the Lady Emily thing. I thought it was going to be actual stupid accusations made by, what I heard was clout hungry lady made accusations in order to get clout. Ghost Gamer, $5. This is low-key making me mad. If anyone is defending this guy, I'm automatically suspicious of what's on their drive. I'm a little suspicious because he said Destiny helped him out. I think I saw Xanderhall was hanging out with Destiny recently, and maybe he got a heads up about this and talked to him, and Destiny fucking like and made him think different things about it. I don't know. But okay, actually, let me first off, I am sorry to anybody who I probably should have trigger warned before that. The extent of my apology goes to that actually was a little rough, and I had not read that yet, and I thought it would be just kind of even glancing at the first bit of it. I thought it would just be like the jokes, right? I thought it was going to be like edgy posting. And I had no fucking idea that it was going to go as deep as it did. I am actually sorry for not having the content warning. That's why that's there. So, muy apologetico. Disculpa. My bad. I gotta say, I really would like to talk to somebody. I would like to talk to somebody who can defend this kind of behavior. I want to really see like how you get to he's fine out of all of this. A lot of it falls under the things where it's kind of like it's very similar like with Vosh. Like when people are like, you have defended Vosh on Lolly. I never have. I said none of that's illegal, so I can't be forced to care because the government doesn't care, and I'm not going to go and solve it by hand in person. So like it's nothing I can control. It's nothing I can fix about him. It is what it is. I would say, technically speaking, nothing illegal happened here. So, like, there's no criminal brushing up with and against criminal behavior, like one of those Chinese machining company commercials that are like on TikTok all the time, like, you know, Daochi fucking Industries, best machining, slid in that tight. That's how fucking close it was that you almost cannot see a surface resemblance between it and a crime. Very close, but not illegal. That is not good. But the overall way that he behaved is 100% suspicious. And the way that he articulated his behavior is no good. I would say unironically, if he's not a predator, he has every hallmark of one. Like he has the like you're so close to a predator, it's like one of those butterflies that has the eye spots on it, so it kind of looks like a tiger and shit, that you might as well be to a degree treated one, because you're doing such a good fucking impression that if you did anything predatory, it would not be a change in your behavior. The like literally at live fucking just flat doing like actual gaslighting in his own writing is crazy. Because it's like I like multiple times through that I read a thing and he said this exonerates me, and then I looked at something and I just actually took it in for more than 2 seconds and said, no, it doesn't. What are you talking about? I just have to take your fucking word after all this. And even if in cases where I did take your word, it contradicted his word in other cases. And if I didn't take his word, it was really just that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a convoluted mess of absolutely I did nothing wrong is all I got from that. All I got from him saying it is he feels he did nothing wrong, when very obvious. First off, the second thing was just wrong. Just sexting, doing graphic chats with a 14-year-old is bad. And like the part of that to articulate where you're not in the wrong is the part where you say all of the sexual content and the talk about sex was before the moment I found out she was 5 years younger than me. The part where she was sending me romantic gifts was before I found out she was 5 years younger than me. I broke it off by telling her specifically that she's too young, and then she maybe even saying, like, you can't talk to people my age. I can't talk to you ever again. Didn't do that. Just said, my mom found the shirt you sent me. Like, I can't wear it. Or I can't keep it, I think, maybe. And then also, even in the future, she says, like, oh yeah, you just kind of ghosted me. I thought we were into each other, but then you kind of just left, and I don't know. I didn't know if you lost interest or what. Which is also a wild timeline to build, because he says, no, my mom found out, and then my mom made me stop talking to you. So, based mom, by the way. And then immediately after that, at some point, after you re-engage with the person, you start doing the RP again that you were doing when she was a child. Like reigniting the same... Because so you were clearly interested in the RP. It was clearly not just an aspect. It was almost the entirety of your relationship was the sexual role play. That was the nature of the relationship with the literal child. And so when you got back with her as an adult, you just reinitiated it. So the interest was there. The only thing you showed me until like later on, like you're like, oh, adult me is explaining. Adult me is explaining now. Like 34-year-old me is explaining. Oh, obviously you were too young at the time. You were too young. I'm in DMs as a major creator. You were clearly too young at the time. As a kid, though, sorry. My mom said I can't RP with you, freshman. Anymore. God damn. Oh, you know what Chuggaconroy says about Pokemon fans? Cool thing about a Pokemon fan is I get older every year and they stay the same age. All right. Hope you enjoyed your time on the